Hello, third graders. This is lesson 7 in human body systems and senses. We're going to talk about parts of the eye. Right, here's some vocabulary words that you will hear through the read aloud. Your cornea is the thin, tough tissue that covers the colored part of the eye. Farsightedness is the ability to clearly see faraway objects, but not nearby objects. Right? Iris is the colored part of the eye that controls the size of the pupil. Lens is a small flexible part of the eye that focuses light to produce an image. Nearsightedness is the ability to clearly see nearby objects but not faraway objects. Miss Hill is nearsighted. Pupil is a small black opening in the center of the colored part of the eye that controls how much light can enter. Retina is a part of the eye that lies along the back inner wall of the eyeball and that allows us to see shades of gray in dim light as well as colors and sharp images in bright light. And the word wondrous is an adjective. It describes something. It means amazing, miraculous, awesome. An example is after the blizzard, Amy was amazed at the wondrous amount of snow that blanketed the streets and piled against the houses. Right, here's our systems of the body that we've been talking about. We've specifically been talking about the skeletal system and the muscular system and the nervous system. Last time we talked about the nervous system and specifically the brain, and you were asked what else is inside the skull that we will talk about today. So we'll also look at how everything is interconnected, right? Everything is connected to each other. How is the nervous system connected to your eyes? Well, I guess we will learn and find out. Imagine a typical day. You are always looking around at people and books and screens, at animals and cars and trees. Before crossing a street, you look both ways for traffic. What part of your body do you use to look at all these things? Your eyes, of course. And which body organ do you think helps your eyes to see? Yes, the wondrous brain. Human eyes work together with the brain in order to see. Of all your senses, your sense of sight is the one you use the most. More than half of all the information you collect from your environment is received through your eyes. Then the information is sent to the back of your brain, sometimes called the mind's eye, where your brain interprets what you see and creates a picture for you. Remember when we looked at the different parts of the skull? You see the cranial bones on the skulls? The cranium that houses your brain is only one part of your skull. Besides the 8 flat cranial bones, there are 20 additional skull bones. Some of these bones form the eye sockets, 2 holes that are the perfect size for housing and protecting your eyeballs. You can feel your eye sockets by gently touching the area around your eyeball. Or you can feel your eyebrow and where your eye socket is carefully. Before we take a look at an eyeball, let's look at what surrounds your eyes. There are other things that also play an important part in helping you see. Look at your reflection or turn and look at someone if someone's in the room with you. See the hairs above the eyes? What are they called? Right, the eyebrows. They're not just there to look pretty, they have a purpose. Does anyone know what they do? Your eyebrows help keep dust and sweat out of your eyes. Now close your eyes. What is the skin called that covers your eyes? Yes, eyelids. Your eyelids protect your eyes too, keeping your eyes moist by spreading tears over them. Tears are produced by tear glands located above each eyeball on the underside of the eyelid. These salty water droplets keep your eyes wet and help fight germs. Tear ducts are tiny raised bumps located in the inner corner of your eyes containing openings no larger than a pinhole. These tiny openings are the drains for your tears. Normally, these tear ducts do their job by draining without you even knowing it. What do you think you would be doing if your tear ducts couldn't drain a lot of tears fast enough? That's right, you'd be crying. Your eyelashes, the short, curved hairs growing on the edge of your eyelids, keep dust particles out as well. There are muscles all around each eye, 6 in all. They control your eyes' movements, allowing them to swivel in their sockets, looking up and down and side to side. The eyelid, eyebrows, and eyelashes are all external parts that help protect the eyeball. Think exit, the outside, external, the outside of your body. Now we're ready to take a peek at the parts of your eyeball itself. Look at your eye in a mirror or someone near you's eye. What shape is his or her eyeball? It may appear oval to you, but the eyeball is actually well named because it is round, just like a basketball. It looks oval because some parts are hidden behind the eyelids. What color are your eyes? Did you notice when you looked? Look at it again. Does anyone know the name of the colored parts of the eyes? Let's find out. Look at this picture. Let's look at this picture together. Right? What kind of text feature is this? It's a diagram, right? Because it shows us the different parts of the eye. The outer visible part of the eye includes the sclera, cornea, iris, and pupil. The white outer layer of the eye is called the sclera. The thin, tough, transparent tissue that covers the colored part of the eye is called the cornea, and it allows light to pass through. Together, the sclera and the cornea protect the eye from germs, dangerous particles, and damaging light rays. The colored part of the eye, the disc located just behind the transparent cornea, is called the iris. At the center of the iris is a black circle. Do you see it? This dark circular hole, called the pupil, varies in size as it regulates the amount of light entering the eye. The muscles of the iris control the size of the pupil, tightening to make the pupil smaller in bright light and relaxing to make the pupil larger in dim light. Okay, so if you ever look in the mirror and when you turn the lights on, you can see your pupils shrinking really fast to let less light in, and then when you turn the lights off, your pupils get bigger to let more light in. All right, look at this diagram we have here. You can only see clearly if the right amount of light enters your eyes. Eyes are designed to focus light. Every part of the eye has a role to play, including those parts that lie inside the eyeball. So what is inside the eyes? Liquid and jelly. That's right, eyes are soft and hollow. The clear fluid and jelly inside them give them their round shape. There are 3 important parts inside the eyeballs that help you see: the lens, the retina, and the optic nerve. Do you see them in this picture? The optic nerve is in the back, the retina is also in the back, and the lens is in the front. In order to see, you need light. It can be natural light from the sun or electrical light from a bulb, but all seeing begins with light. The eye sees objects by seeing the light that reflects or bounces off objects. Imagine that you are looking at a house. The sun shines down on the house. Light from the sun bounces off the house and travels to your eyes. Light rays bend towards each other as they pass through the cornea, the transparent tissue that covers the iris. This bending in the first step is This bending is the first step in focusing the light. The bent light rays then pass through the pupil to a clear disc called the lens. The rubbery, flexible lens adjusts its shape in order to focus on near or distant objects, creating crisp images. As the light rays pass through the lens, they bend even closer, crossing one another, and land on the cup-shaped retina at the back of the eye. An image of the house is formed on the retina, but because light rays are bent, the image appears upside down on the retina. The light-receiving cells of the retina transfer light rays into electrical energy so that the nervous system can send information to your brain via the optic nerve. The short, thick optic nerve is fixed to the back of the eyeball, just behind the retina. Acting like a cable, it passes through a tunnel in the skull and connects the eyeball to the brain. The optic nerve carries messages to the brain to be processed. The brain recreates the image so that the house is now seen right side up. As the eyes work together with the nervous system, this whole process takes less than 1 second to complete. When you think of the factors and the parts of the eye that are involved in allowing it to see, it is indeed wondrous to think that it takes less than 1 second to see, right? Because it has to go all the way in and it's backwards and it has to go through the optic nerve and then your brain has to flip it around so you know what you're seeing. Eyes are so important to us that it is troubling when things go wrong with our eyes, preventing us from seeing as well as we would like. Two of the most common eye problems are nearsightedness and farsightedness. Have you heard those terms before? Let's find out what they mean. We know that people come in all shapes and sizes. Look around you. Legs and arms and faces and heads are all different shapes and sizes. So it makes sense that eyes vary in shape and size from person to person too. The size and shape of the eye affects its ability to focus light and work well. In perfect vision, as light rays pass through the lens of the eye, they meet in just the right place to project a clear image on the retina. But sometimes the cornea or the lens is not quite the right shape to bend the light in the most effective way. Sometimes the shape of the eyeball affects how clearly images are projected on the retina. When these things occur, vision may become blurry. So you can see the top picture would be what it looks like for someone who's nearsighted, like Miss Hill. The bottom picture is what it would look like for someone who is farsighted. In nearsightedness, the eyeball size in relation to the cornea affects its focusing power, so images are projected or focused in front of the retina. Nearby objects are seen clearly, but distant objects are out of focus. In farsightedness, the eyeball's size affects the focus power of the lens, so images are projected or focused behind the retina. Distant objects are seen clearly, but nearby objects are out of focus. Luckily, these problems can both be corrected with glasses or contact lenses. That's why Miss Hill wears glasses. Before I go, let's try a riddle or two. I reflect off objects and enter your eyes. I bend to help you see. Your sight depends on me. What am I? Light. Objects appear upside down on me. I live at the back of your eyeball. What am I? Your retina. I am the part of your eye that is colored. Sometimes I'm green, but I could be brown or gray or blue. What am I? Your iris. Okay, it's time for me to go. Next time we'll look at the smallest bone in your body. Can anyone predict what it is? Hint, it's part of another sensory organ. What are your 5 senses? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. How do these senses work with the brain to process information about our surroundings? Well, information about the environment is collected through the senses and sent back to the brain for interpretation. What are the visible or external parts of the eye? You have eye sockets, eyebrows, eyelids, eyelashes, the sclera, cornea, iris, and pupil that you can see in the diagram below. What is the purpose of these visible parts? Well, the eyebrows and eyelashes keep dust and sweat and other particles out of your eye. Eyelids and tear ducts keep your eyeball moist. The pupil controls how much light enters the eyeball. The sclera and cornea protect from germs, particles, and light rays. Eye sockets are the house and protect the eyeball. You can see the picture, the diagram here of the different parts of the inside of the eye, right? In the front, you can see the lens that the light goes through and that it goes back into your retina. And then you have your optic nerve that takes the information to your brain. What are the inner or internal parts of the eye? The lens, the retina, and the optic nerve. Compare and contrast nearsightedness and farsightedness. How are they different? How are they the same? In nearsightedness, you can clearly see things that are close, but not things that are far away. In farsightedness, you can clearly see things that are far away, but not things that are close. Describe how the parts of the eye work together with the nervous system to allow a person to see. Light travels through the cornea, and as it passes through, the light bends. The bent light passes through the pupil to the lens. The lens bends the light again to finish focusing the image. This light lands on the retina, where the light is transferred to electrical energy so the optic nerve can send information to the brain. Would you describe this process as wondrous? I sure would. It's awesome how we were created for our eyes to work that way. Your sense of sight is the one you use the most. Explain how the sense of sight helps you on a daily basis. Our word for today is wondrous. In the read aloud you heard, in which body organ do you think helps your eyes to see? Yes, the wondrous brain. Say the word wondrous with me. Wondrous. Wondrous means amazing, miraculous, or awesome. Juan is a skilled artist who creates such wondrous paintings. What is something you think is wondrous, and why do you think that? All right, good job today, guys. I hope you enjoyed learning about the eye and how it works.